The Jordan Townhouse Development is something that's actually very emotional for me to speak about. It's very close to my heart and to my family because this was the first house that my wife and I bought. It's in a beautiful suburb in Melbourne called Malvern. It's eastern suburbs, very inner city, very leafy, very beautiful place to bring up a family. As a designer in my first 10 years, I was designing a lot of property developments for clients, and they were buying houses and turning them into 6 apartments or 2 townhouses. And I would watch them make their lives and their family lives better because the development would be profitable, they would sell it, they would move to a better space. And I said to my wife, why don't we do the same? And now she was attached to this house a lot because her dad and mum lived there, and since then her dad had passed away. So the house was very emotional to my wife. But after a bit of discussion, we said, you know what, let's make this happen. Now, lucky I relocated the house to a seaside suburb for one of our nephews, so the house is still there for the memories. But the development was a 3-story townhouse development, 2 side-by-sides, where there used to be 1 house, with a basement, 2 levels of living and entertainment. The plans were perfect, the permits came through, the bank wanted 1 pre-sale so they could lend us the money to build it. So we pre-sold 1. Everything was going swimmingly perfectly. We got some quotes from builders. We decided to hire 1 on the advice of somebody that said that they knew them. They had some magical way of building basements that I'd never built a basement. I didn't know what it looked like. So we said, we'll hire them. We hired them. They dug a hole in the ground, and then the GFC hit. For those of you old enough to remember, the global financial crisis destroyed a lot of families and a lot of people. So our builder goes broke. $200,000 of our money just disappeared. That was the deposit. He dug a hole, he goes broke, and now I'm staring at this property with a massive hole. It had rained a lot, so it was like a little swimming pool, and it had ducks in it. So me and my wife are looking at each other, and we're ready to start crying. We just didn't know how we're going to get ourselves out of this. Very, very tough time in my life. So I had to show strength, and I had to look deep into myself to find my core values and my belief. I didn't want to upset my family or my wife, so I looked at how can I solve this problem. We had $2 million from the bank, $200,000 has already gone, and all we've got is a hole in the ground. We'd pre-sold 1 of those units. They have to be ready. These townhouses must be ready by October. And it's now March. We don't have a builder, and every week we're paying $10,000 in interest because interest rates in those days were skyrocketing. So I said, you know what, we're going to fix this problem. Positive first, must happen, challenge the status quo. We believed in thinking differently, and we did. I did. I found a carpenter who had a domestic builder's license. I said, you, me, we're going to collaborate. We're going to make this happen. I left my design practice to my manager, and for 9 months, all I did is put the boots on, and together with this builder, we looked at solutions. First problem was to build it in the traditional manner, bricks and sticks, brick veneer, solid brick, concrete. That was going to take way too long. We would not make October. So we said, well, how can we build this quicker? Revalue engineer it. Very simple. Sat with an engineer, tilt up slabs. People build factories every day out of concrete slabs, and one day there's nothing there, and the next day 16 trucks come, 1 crane, click, 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 click. Wow, there's a building here. We're going to adopt that strategy. That was the first change I made to the construction. Then traditional carpentry. Here's a carpenter. He says, Alistair, it's going to take me so long to build all the walls and the floors and the framing and the sticks and this and that. I said, no, we're going to change the philosophy. We found a prefabricated concrete floor system from Sydney. We booked it, we paid for it. Now, concrete's expensive, but it's the time you save. So concrete tilt-up slabs, more expensive, but we did it in a day. Concrete prefabricated floor system from Sydney, more expensive to buy, but it was laid in 2 days. So all of a sudden, where the traditional methods were going to take us 3 to 4 weeks each, if not months, within 3 days, we had slabs up, floor down, right, let's start building the upstairs. We had to dig deep, revalue engineer, look at solutions, materiality, everything was looked at, and I physically managed and built this together with this carpenter, who I'm very grateful for. He came along, he sat with me, he believed in the dream, and to cut a long story short, on this specific project, not only did I finish the project in time, I delivered the townhouse to the purchaser who purchased it a year ago with a sunset clause that he had to be in at a specific time because he was moving out of his house. And even though the GFC and all the bad things happened, we ended up with the property that we always wanted. That's just a short story on how when the going gets tough and it's your own money that you're risking and your own family's well-being and health, you just have to push through. You need to find solutions. And that was my first property development. Since then, I've been involved in about 10 of them with separate joint venture partners. And once you have that philosophy and you've been through that war, you can find solutions to anything.